Bill from Redwire Security, um, one of our valued partners here with Associated Gulf Coast. Dan, go ahead, take it away. What do we need to know about Redwire?
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for the opportunity, Paul, and I'd like to welcome every associate manager who is here with us today and any and all board members who are joining in. So let me tell you real quick a little bit about Redwire. Redwire is a security company that specializes on not just installations, but making sure that what we leave behind is not just a good installation, but also a good, effective, and efficient security solution. So, as I mentioned earlier, my name is Daniel Esposito. I'm the security consultant for Redwire in the region. And my main responsibility and charter is to make sure not just that an installation for whatever the need is put in place, but then that the services that are required to make that work for the long run are in place. So let me talk a bit more about that. So I'll just jump into the agenda. And just to let you all know, for the sake of time, we're going to be discussing here a little bit about what Redwire is, our services, our promise, what makes us different, and if there's any questions that I can answer, then we'll go with that at the very end. So real quick, a little bit about Redwire. It's important to note that Redwire is a team of professionals, and we've been specialized in what we've been doing in the industry for over 40 years. We actually have what is known to be one of the few 5-diamond award-winning central stations that work around the clock, and we service commercial, governmental, institutional, and residential based clients across all of Florida. Not only do we do it in Florida, but we're also located in South Georgia and Southern Alabama. So we're able to meet quite a few needs in the area of intrusion detection, access control, video surveillance, and fire detection solutions. So our expertise ranges in different areas. Now, let me talk real quick about our services. And it's important to know what I want to do is I want to be able to kind of level set a definition for security. As you all may be aware as managers and board members, the term security, sometimes it's a bad word nowadays because of we live in a very litigious society, and there's a lot of liabilities that are assigned to the word security. So now we talk about asset management and protecting what we have in a certain location. But let's kind of erase all of that today, and especially with the current climate that we have in terms of social distancing and COVID-19, the term security has taken on a new meaning. So for the sake of being able to kind of having a working definition, let me define security without the danger of us being sued because we're using the term security. So the definition of the actual word security is the effective and efficient minimization of the liability of exposure. So anything that a security company or anything that we're doing in our lives should be in some way, shape, or form providing us with minimizing the liabilities that come with that. It's important to note that there is no solution that's going to be 100%. If any security company or any endeavor comes out there and says that they have a 100% solution for you, it's important for you to remember that they're lying to you, because sometimes you just can't get around crazy, or you can't get around those factors affecting control. But what we can do is pick a solution that is going to be as free of variation and consistency and defect as possible. So the goal is with any security provider that is put in place, that whatever they put in place is going to work consistently, predictably, and repeatedly, and can be serviced when you need it to. That's why Redwire specializes, and we're considered to be one of the top 50 security companies in access control in all the country, intrusion detection, video surveillance, and fire services. Now, let me kind of jump in and then share with you a little bit about what we mean. When we speak of access control, what Redwire does in access control is we provide a fully serviced and maintained database technology that will provide, grant, or deny access to any point of entry, whether it be a clubhouse, whether it be an amenity, whether it be a high-rise. You control who is authorized and at what times they're permitted to enter. So if a card is lost or a user is no longer allowed, you simply deactivate the credential, preventing any type of issue. Now, we can fully manage that for you, but many instances with a lot of our partners and people that we serve, we actually have a co-management type of relationship where they have the ability to deactivate things, or we have the ability to do that and provide them with reports should they want to isolate or look back at what's being violated. So you can manage multiple sites from anywhere. You don't have to have, it doesn't just work for one area. If you have several locations, we can help you manage them on one platform. You can receive text or email notifications, fully manage it, and you can actually even preset threat levels with it. And that is, you can have biometrics, remotely manage it, and you can actually do it even from your smartphone or a tablet, and so on. That's the access control piece. Now, the video surveillance piece, what we do there is our video solutions. Again, I want you to think about them as an added or extra layer of security for a facility. Many times they come across people, and we have to educate them that not everything that you want to protect needs a camera. So I'm the first person who will tell you not everything needs a camera. Sometimes you need a partner that is going to be able to tell you, no, you don't need a camera there, you need a light, or you need to be able to trim the hedges. So when it comes to video surveillance, a camera is not always going to be the solution. But when it is going to be a solution, it needs to be designed to meet the need. So that's why we're going to fully service and maintain a solution for an area that we know needs to be protected. So as to not break the bank, but actually help you do it with high-resolution IP cameras, great megapixels. And our Redwire cameras can capture faces, license plates, overall fields of view that can create situational awareness for the community. Then you can go back and look at those video clips, change the settings, and you could do it from your phone, you can do it from a computer, you can do it from a tablet. It'll have video analytics. You can monitor the health of it. And our network video recorders actually store what you have on site, or it can be locally hosted, or it can be in a cloud, and it's all can be done on a simple app. You can connect cameras that are all within an area or in different locations, all onto one platform, very much like your access control solutions as well. Let's go to the next one. Now, intrusion detection. Intrusion detection is not to be confused with video surveillance. Video surveillance, we spoke about cameras. Intrusion detection is actually something that is an added level of protection for a clubhouse or an amenity or a common area that is going to be monitored by our 5-diamond central station, which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And it's going to be equipped with video verification capability. So it can actually securely arm or disarm, receive alerts. Our virtual guards are going to have a chance to see what's going on anytime a premise has been breached virtually. We have a chance to look at what's going on there and be able to, either call the authorities or contact someone in your location, be able to look into it. And you will have also the capability, if something gets was disarmed that needs to be armed, to arm it directly from your phone. So our system is going to provide you with the ability to manage things from any secure internet connection, tablet or smartphone, and we're going to be able to help you monitor the situation to see if it is a true threat or a false alarm. Instead of just calling the cops for absolutely everything, we're going to have 2 to 3 levels of verification so that you actually know if it's a true trespass or somebody who just had a party that went a bit longer. So in summary, we verify the video, dispatch police if you want, so you don't have to. We can monitor, disarm your system, arm it with virtual keypads and whatnot. Now, the last service that we offer is fire services. Now, according to the Occupational Health and Safety Administration, also known as OSHA, fires and explosions costs businesses, and I don't know if you're aware of this, at schools more than $2.3 billion in property damages each year. So the goal is to have early detection when it comes to fire to be able to limit loss. So Redwire fire detection and monitoring systems, they integrate with every other service we have. So you can have access control and cameras connected to your fire services system, and we can monitor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that it doesn't respond when something bad's happening, but it can preempt it if need be. Now, that being said, we created all of these services, and they're undergirded by what we call our Redwire promise. Now, if we can go to the next one, I'll share with you really quick about what the Redwire promise is. And we are the only company that I can honestly say in the state of Florida, Southern Georgia, Southern Alabama that does this. We are the only one who offer this promise, and our standards are in place to be able to hold us accountable as your security partner. We offer a $2,500 performance promise. If we're not doing what we're supposed to, we actually pay that. Once our equipment is installed, you have up to 6 months to test it. And if at the 5th month, 30 days, we're not doing what we told you, we remove everything and pay you back for it. False alarm promises. We pay you if there's a false alarm. Our service promises as well that if there is an emergency in place, we'll have somebody there in 2 to 3 hours. We have text geocoded all across the state that can be there. If we're not there on time, we pay you. If we can't fix it that day, then we will pay a security guard to sit there until we fix it. So the Redwire promise is very robust, has well over 40 years of actual documentation to prove that this is what we do. And we do it with the Department of Health. We work with a lot of Department of Education, a lot of communities all across the state and beyond to make sure it remains that way. Now, all that being said, if I were to summarize all of this and try to put it, with a nice bow and ribbon, what makes us really different is that we're full-service security experts. Now, a lot of times when people think of security, what they're thinking about is, well, here's just another company that does camera, access control, intrusion, and fire system inspection, and we just sat to another presentation of those. But what I want to be able to try to bring to your attention here real quick is that what's most important in all of this is not so much the installation factor, but it's the service factor, is our proven track record, less than 1% attrition rate. Everyone that we serve, 70 to 80% of everyone we serve, from commercial to governmental to any type of industry to communities, 70 to 80% is by referral. We're known primarily because of our service support team. What you don't see is that we have a field support team that's going to be there with checking your devices on a daily basis. We have a central station team with actual people that are going to be available for you, pulling video, responding rapidly to whatever the case may be. So we're not just installers. We are service providers and partners that are there to make sure that whatever you have there is going to be doing what it's supposed to, which is effectively and efficiently working consistently, predictably, and repeatedly. Now, let me kind of take a breather real quick and then open it up for any questions that I may answer. And hopefully I didn't go too quick on this, but if there's any questions, I'm open to providing some answers.
Well, actually we do. So first question that comes to mind from the manager's perspective is how invasive is, or I should say, like an installation. When an association is asking a manager about the concept of installing cameras and access control, keypads, those types of things, if you could, it's always much more effort than people want to believe. So when it comes to installing these types of systems, what can be expected when it comes to the association and the manager and even the facility itself?
That's a great question. So what's important to note is that you're right. When it comes to installation, if you're just bringing someone who's used to just putting something up, it can be a little bit dicey because it's just about wiring things and just putting them up there. But what's important to know, once a community or an association has decided to be able to put in place a system, I always say the next step that is of greatest importance is the step of process. It's systematic process improvement. And what that means is when a community or association agree to being able to say, yes, I want to be able to put this in place, then you will be assigned an actual installation team or a project coordinator that's going to have an installation team that will then be followed by a service implementation team. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that they're not just going to slap things up there. They're going to follow statutes. For example, if you're going with an intrusion detection system, the question becomes, what are the points of access? And that's going to be discussed with the manager and the board. And we're going to ask, what are the areas that you're looking to be able to secure? Because if something happens, then we're going to have a second process that's going to be in place. So we're going to be have like that's going to stand as a turnkey protocol for the community, meaning any time that this area is breached from this time to this time, then this protocol has to be in place. Now remember, there's just to give you an example with intrusion detection, there's a Florida statute that says that anytime you call the authorities concerning a breach on any type of common area that's looking to be protected, the call needs to be verified. So the installation process is not just about putting the intrusion detection system with cameras in place, but it's about first talking with management and the board. Where do you want it? That's first step. Number two, this is what we recommend. Great, we both agree. We're going to put this in place. Who should we call first? What type of instances and scenarios do you want us to be able to have automatically calling law enforcement? Then when that happens, every single type of call to the authorities is going to be verified, not only in accordance with the Florida statute, but also in accordance with the requirements and the specs and the desires of the community and the management team. So if 3 months from now or a year from now, the board changes, there's a protocol set in place, and if they come back and say, we have a new board, we want to know what the protocol is, it's nice and stored, the manager's aware, we're aware, and all you got to do is just plug and play for whoever. So long story, which I made a long story to say it in a summarized manner. The key to successful installation has to do with having every step of the process clearly discussed and reviewed every year so that we can make sure that it stays in line with the requirement and the not only for the statute but also for the board. Did that answer your question?
So it does, absolutely. So Dan, for those who can't see the actual screen but they want to reach out to you directly, what's the best way, most convenient way for both managers and board members to reach out to you directly?
Great question. So as you can see right before you, the best way is always giving me a call. The number that's there, actually, I route throughout the state, and I have different people that I work with. So my telephone number is 850-701-0042, as you can see there. Another way, if you prefer to email me and schedule an assessment, or have me come out and look at something. One thing I did forget to mention, Paul, just to let everyone know, is one of the big things that we end up doing too is a lot of times we have communities that call us because they have people that installed systems, but then they've disappeared or the service is horrendous. We actually do takeovers. We can actually do an assessment of what you have, let you know if it's working, and if you need to say, you know what, I'm sick of this service provider, we want to be able to have somebody that's going to give us the promise of 2 to 3 hour assistance, then we can actually look it over and provide you an assessment and take those over. So you can call me and we can do that, or email me at D as in Daniel, last name Esposito, E-S-P as in Peter, O-S-I-T as in Thomas, O, at redwire.com.
Outstanding. Well, Dan, I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you and getting your information out to not only our managers, but to our board members. Hopefully, much continued success for you once we get past this coronavirus scenario, but once we get past all this, much continued success. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone. I look forward to being of service.